You're listening to The Dating Den with dating and relationship badass and best-selling author Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important dating, sex, and relationship issues you want to know about. So if you're ready for true talk that's authentic and unfiltered, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
The Dating Den with panelist Chris Gillis. Bachelor Nation update. How to avoid players and wrong for you men. Ladies, welcome into the Dating Den. At the end of a day, weary day, we have come together. Back by popular demand. Chris Gillis, my favorite panelist, is here. There's so much Bachelor drama that we were like, we need to just talk about what's going on in Bachelor Nation, dating, men, the whole mess. So I'm so excited that you are here. So the first thing that I want to talk about,
right?
I'm going to go like in reverse order.
This is the podcast, by the way, everybody, that we didn't want to make this. We had to make this.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wait, we're not done.
We're so...
Put the hard hat back on, Marni, and grab the chisel. We're going back.
We're going back. Well, first of all, okay, so by the way, the rumor is, and I don't know what is the latest and greatest. I will find this out immediately. But I believe that Bachelor in Paradise is coming back, but that people don't really want to be on the show. So I don't know. I don't know when we'll be back. I mean, I don't know when we'll be back, but they say it's going to premiere August 16th.
Do that. I've seen some things on the internet. It shows, all these people. It's who's going to be on it, and all these familiar faces. Like, let's go back to it. But you're saying that there is a lot of people that are gun shy and are not wanting to go back because they're boycotting Chris Harrison not being on, or what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know, but they say that they're going to begin airing it on August 16th, and it will be filming in June. And so, yeah, and they have one person, apparently, the anesthesiologist Joe Park, who appeared on Claire Colley and Tysha Adams' joint season. He is going to be going to Paradise. That was that guy that couldn't get over Claire. There's some unverified rumors that Noah Erb, Chasen, remember him?
Yeah. Okay, Joe Clark, yes. Okay.
Yep.
Joe Park, yeah.
Chasen, which was that 40-year-old guy.
Smoke show guy, right?
Yeah.
Buddy.
Spencer Robertson. I don't remember him.
He's the one with the dreamy blue eyes. He interrupted him. Remember how they had the first batch and the second batch? Yeah, he came in there and he was all hot and badass, and all of a sudden he just got all quiet and disappeared. Like, what the heck?
Totally. Okay, so he's coming back on, apparently. And Blake Balakai, I like Blake.
Oh, no.
He said he might also come back. So he said when you come off the show, you kind of start to fear that you can't find someone without the show and someone who's not in Bachelor Nation. We relate to each other so much.
Dude, they ball so hard together. Like, I follow a bunch of them on Instagram, or just different accounts, and they go where they go one, they go all. There's 8 of them. They don't do anything. They all go to the bathroom, arm in arm, linked. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Trouse, they are just best buds.
Yeah, I think they just hang out. Bree, who we really like from Matt James' season, she was on a podcast called Here for the Right Reasons. She said she would need to see some kind of tangible change from the show in order to put herself back in any kind of situation like that. Also, Ivan, who we loved. Do you remember Ivan?
Totally remember Ivan. Ivan was his brother. I want his brother to have
put his brother on Paradise.
Real America.
He said he also wouldn't do Paradise without some serious changes. So I think there's people that, are a little, just a little concerned. Okay, so let's talk about we'll go in reverse order. The most recent news is that Colton Underwood, who was the Bachelor a while back, he was famous for being so overwhelmed by his feelings. He jumps over a 8-foot fence and tries to bail from the show. Comes back, is in love with a woman named Cassie. She's like, dude, this is too much, too fast. I don't want you to propose to me. And he says, okay, that's fine. We'll just date. That's where they leave the show. They're together maybe for a little bit of time. I don't know how long. He gets COVID. He stays with her family. They take care of him. Next thing we know, they've broken up. And he is accused of allegedly planting tracking devices on her car and loitering outside her parents' home in the wee hours of the morning. This man has come out on Good Morning America saying he's gay. What do you think? I mean, and I think it's a good story for us to talk about, just because so many women, when we're dating, we're constantly looking for the what ifs. What if he cheats on me? What if he, that bad relationship he has with his mother is because, he's secretly got some addiction? Or what if he decides that he doesn't want to be married again? I mean, we all have so many what ifs. I don't know necessarily if one of them is he gay, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think we have what ifs, and we also have the what we are dying to see. My friend always says, when you're just so when you're so committed to being a hammer, all you see is a nail. And I think a lot of us get in that place where we just want, and some of our friends are like, dude, what are you doing? Are you sure? Are you sure? And we just tend to just ignore, no, we're good. And man, I mean, I did not see this with Colton. Now looking back, I'm like, what? Of course I did. What's wrong with you, Chris? How did you? Yes, so Captain Obvious, duh. How'd you miss it? But it was just, he's the Bachelor, so therefore he's this, and he's got all these women around him. But now I look back, and I don't know if you remember, but I was sitting on the couch with you, and I was doing my thing where I'm so uncomfortable, and I'm turning sideways, I'm covering my face, watching him pine, and give and have such a, just for simplistic terms, I'll just say a feminine style energy of wanting to be loved by her, and she was just so fucking tough, and she just wasn't feeling him. And remember, she kept making him he's like, nope. She was like, nope, I don't like you. He's like, no, hold on. I will convince you. I must convince you. And it's just so ironic that, dude, it's he was trying to convince himself the whole time. And she knew the whole time. There's something in her stomach was like, no, she, I guess, she tried to follow her gut, but he insisted it, she knew it wasn't right. For, who knows what all the different reasons are, but he eventually, he insisted himself upon her, and everything fell apart with tracking devices and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah. So she has not, they have not been in connection, and she has not publicly made any comment about it, Cassie. And according to sources that I found on the internet, she was not even aware of the interview before it aired. So we don't even know, we don't know if he had had that conversation with her beforehand. And it's interesting too, so there's also rumors he was going to have a show on Netflix, and apparently there's a petition against it because he is a person who was allegedly, inappropriately pursuing, stalking, tracking. We don't know. I don't know any of those things. And then also we read online a rumor that he might be the first gay bachelor. So, I mean, let's just talk about, do people, if you're allegedly accused of something, can he change? Was that just a mistake? Yeah. Was it just because he's so tormented himself? We don't know what happened, but do people deserve does the guy deserve a second chance?
Let me answer that question with two questions for you. Number one, in your very colorful dating life, have you ever dated someone who turned out was gay?
No.
Because you have some crazy ass stories. You always surprise me.
I did have some crazy ass stories, but definitely not that. Like my weirdest thing, really, honestly, was somebody I went on a date with who complimented me on my shoes, which was really nice. And then we went on a date and he complimented me on my feet. And I was like, And then when we were hanging out, he asked to see my shoes. And I was like, boy, be weird. And he totally had a foot fetish. That was like, to me, that was like the weird, like not weird, but that was the most like interesting, colorful, surprising sort of experience that I ever had.
Okay.
That being said, I do know several gay men who, in the world of coaching and just in the world that I'm in, who were married and then came out, and so I think the most important thing is, and we're talking about this a lot, when we're doing our Why Did Men Disappear coaching challenge right now. And I think people will say, why did he ghost, or why did he disappear, or why did he leave? Was it something I did? And I think this is just a very extreme example of like how we need to not take things personally, right? Whether it's like he's gay or he's an addict or he picked somebody else, right? Like I don't want Cassie Randolph to be like, how could I have not known? What's wrong with me? I was such a fool, right? Because I always try to tell people, we only know what we know when we know it. Yeah.
It would definitely bring up a lot of, straight up, like, and guys were always joking about how, it'd be so rad if, our girl liked girls, but actually no, they would crush our egos and self-esteem and give us all the, what was wrong with us sort of thing. And like you said, when the people are just still getting to learn them, who they are. And Colton's only 29. He's a young fella. It just adding it up, and I guess it's shocker. Maybe that's another, segue here is when Mr. Perfect is too perfect on paper, he's been waiting his whole life to have sex with a woman, you're like, okay, yeah, lucky me, but gosh, maybe not. My friend, actually, he dated a girl that he said was a virgin, and but he said she was like a bisexual virgin. It was a bisexual virgin. How is that? I mean, the guy just really, he just really wanted, and that's kind of what I said a second. He just really wanted to feel special. He was trying so hard to see, imagine, and really vision and create and manifest almost to a weird, unhealthy point. And shocker, he got her pregnant first time ever. Wink, wink. And they have like the gnarliest divorce, as you can imagine, because he was just he did that in all in areas of life. He drove right through all the red lights, man. And all of our friends, we'd come to, we all try to counsel him and just refuse to believe it. And it's frustrating.
Yeah, well, I think, and here's the other thing that I think that's really interesting about all of this is, according to what we see in our research, Colton never told Cassie that he was gay because he was just trying to hold on to being straight. I really think that it just is an example of, good communication and having communication, right? And so my guess is, and I don't know, because I wasn't really following them or their relationship, one of the things that I think that is a bigger issue is like, is this guy coming off as emotionally available? And I don't remember enough to say whether we were like Matt James, we were like, oh my God, he's so unavailable. But I'm going to say that if you are struggling with your self-worth and you feel like you're trying to hold on to whatever ideal it is that doesn't feel authentic to you, and you're not communicating about it, it's going to be hard to have, emotional intimacy or physical intimacy. So I think what we can learn about it is, ask hard questions, trust your gut. If someone isn't emotionally available, that's a bigger cause for concern. Like they're not expressing themselves, they're not open. Like that is really more of a flag that we want to be able to really see and then acknowledge, versus spending our energy worrying about like, well, what if he doesn't do this, or what if it doesn't last, or what if I can't trust him, or what, right? You want to have these foundation skills in the relationship that are going to be very obvious and they're well practiced and they show up consistently over time. Like focus on that rather than the like, what if he, What
things do you think have to be going on? Where does a person have to be at for them to do trust that gut instinct? Because I told you once, I knew my last relationship that was 7 years, I knew 100% this is bad, and I didn't trust my gut, and I kind of like Cassie, I let myself, let her get, it'll talk me into something that I didn't want. I'll give it time. And looking back, I didn't have that. There were a lot of things missing that I, self-belief, probably self-worth, that I didn't really, that I didn't trust my gut. It's so hard, Marni, when life is kicking our ass and we're getting rocked by certain things to really be like, hold on, I just need to get silent and sit there and get clear on, is this my gut or is this my insecurity? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, you want to be able to get to a place where you recognize your gut. Your gut is usually going to tell you truths, and your insecurity is usually going to talk nasty to you and talk from a place of fear. And so what's interesting is that he has been quoted as saying that he loved everything about Cassie, and it was hard for him to articulate what his emotions were going on during that relationship because he had this internal fight going on. And what he ultimately says is, I wish, and this is really like, the mantra of our whole Institute for Living Courageously, he says, I wish I had been courageous enough to fix myself before I broke anybody else. And I think that that's really what this is about, is like, if you don't know the difference between your gut and your inner critic, do the work, right? Be courageous to really get into your own truth and your own authenticity, because that will allow you then to be discerning and, make sure that you're really emotionally whole to have a healthy relationship.
Love it. That's beautiful. My second little dating question I was going to ask, or topic, based on Colton, and I think a lot of us have realized I've done some nutty things looking back at it. I didn't do place a homing device, tracking device, but thinking back to some of my younger years, and not that much younger than Colton, I did some weird shit. When under heartbreak and extreme emotional duress, that I'm like, good Lord, what the hell is going on with that? What are your thoughts to your your ladies who had those bananas and bonkers moments, and how do you backtrack out of that or regulate it when you're feeling a little nuts and a little scared, and you don't want to have to be on TMZ the next day?
Well, yeah, exactly. I think that we all make mistakes. And I think it's about just taking responsibility for those mistakes and looking at the patterns, like all the common denominator in all my failed relationships is me. I'm in all of them. And so what am I going to learn from each one of those? Not necessarily to beat myself up or to have regret or remorse, because we only all know what we know when we know it, right? And so it's really about asking those high quality questions, when something doesn't work out, or we've done, I was on a podcast talking about those crazy antics that you were referring to. And I love this because it was the Jordan Harbinger show. And the name of the podcast was like, what it's like to date the crazy ex-girlfriend. Right? That was me. I was like doing the drive-bys. I was doing all those crazy things. And so
did.
I did.
Really?
Oh my God! Yes, I did. And so it's all in my book, and which you can get on Amazon. Yeah. So or on the website datingting.com. So they're all in there. But it's really just about you get to this point and you go, now what? You know, you go, so what? Now what? And you say, what am I gonna? I'm gonna pivot, right? I'm gonna focus forward because the guy of your future is forward in front of you. The guy, True. It's not. So stop facing behind you. Like, look at it, adjust, make adjustments, be courageous, like Colton Underwood has said in that quote, and do what you need to do for yourself so that you don't hurt anyone else along the way, including yourself. Which brings me to our next topic.
What's that?
I love this. So apparently our favorite bachelorette, not Claire Crawley, has said that she told everyone Matt James was a player. I'm like, no, I said it first. So here's what's going on. So first of all, let's just take a moment and pat ourselves on the back, Chris, because we called him out as a player freaking like week 1 or 2. I was like, what is the deal with this dude? And for those of you who don't pay attention, apparently, he broke up with Rachel on national television because of some decisions she made when she was 19. And fair enough, like he gets to have whatever opinion he wants. He goes on TV and he's sort of like, we had a whole episode about his inability to communicate, his accusations. Low key, the minute that was over, according to the internet, he would been texting her every freaking day and had already flown Rachel to New York City, where he was at the time, to continue their relationship. And that was out there in the press. So he was talking to Rachel, flying her out. Guess what he was doing on the side while he was attempting to, quote, work things out?
What was he doing?
He was talking to another woman named Grace, who willingly went on Instagram with Reality Steve and shared her whole truth around how they had dated before he became the Bachelor, before he ever was going to be the Bachelor, dated, I think, / hook up. And while the plans are in the works, Rachel's going to land in New York on Sunday or whatever, he is inviting this girl, Grace, to have a damn sleepover.
Like an Ivan style sleepover where they have Sundays with Tayshia.
No, I do not think that.
By the way, the people, if you're not driving, and look up this video, guys, because this Grace girl, it was the weirdest. Her outfit selection, it's like the least.
No, because she was out. She rides horses for her career, and so she was wearing riding garb.
That's what that shit was.
Yes,
I thought she was like it's extra from the Star Wars.
No, she talks about it. She was in the middle of, and she actually, Matt James wanted this woman, Grace, to be on the show when he was cast as Bachelor. And she was like, and I love this, she was like, I like my life. I love my job. I don't want to be famous. No, thank you.
That's hot. We always talk about that.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we need to do a separate episode just on horsewomen. I'm like a little bit fascinated. Dr. Emily, one of her best friend, just got dumped, and now she's resigned from men, and she's a horse whisperer now, and really into it. And like, it's a good substitute for men. It's riding horses.
Yeah, no, that's her career, this woman, and apparently, and I didn't even know this, but we didn't even know this, that Matt James was doing like, interviews and had a Cameo account, which is this service where you can pay someone like $25 and they'll do a personalized video for you, which I, of course, did for Raina's birthday or graduation. Yeah. Peter Pilot Pete left Raina a message. But anyway. So,
my friend owns that company. Isn't that crazy?
That is amazing. It's such a good business. Such a good business. Yeah, so bottom line is, Rachel's heartbroken, and they were, talking about get together. She visited him. There was no misunderstanding. It was super clear. And then he flew her out. She stayed with him, and Matt invited this woman, Grace, to Miami just days before meeting Rachel, 2 days, in fact. And she declined the invitation, this woman, Grace. And she said it didn't sit right with her, and she felt like Rachel was in love with him. And I was like, yay, girls supporting girls. And she basically, I love this, and this is the world we live in. Does she call Rachel? No, she calls reality Steve.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got a story for you, which I actually kind of respect, because instead of creating some drama directly, she just was like, look, this isn't right. I don't really want to be involved. This is information. You should put it out there. And and I'm out. And
I'm going to wear my horse gear, and I'm going to do this behind the stall. It's like she didn't put on any preparation. She didn't give a fuck. She threw it out there. Do what you want with it. And like kind of mic dropped. What is encouraging and also shitty is what's like encouraging, because you know me, I'm always like, is this real? Is this real? Well,
yeah.
No, apparently people do fall in love on the show. And I thought the minute Matt walked off, dude, he's going to pull his 8-pack out and start punching stuff, like kicking stuff, and being like, all the, and then girls are just going to be all over. But it is kind of cool and beautiful that, he still had an attraction. And it was, he did have some sort of philia love for Rachel. What totally blows is that every single viewer, all of us who are listening, we don't have the luxury of the person we're dating being a reality famous star, that if both of them, if he's cheating on her or cheating on you with somebody else, we're not going to know about it. So good Lord, no wonder guys are able to, people are able to get away with so much. And that's the only reason. It's, if Rachel hadn't been famous and he hadn't been famous, we wouldn't know about this.
I know, and they might have been together. But and I get it, like Rachel's hurt because, Matt was saying, we've talked about this with Matt James. He's the guy who tells you what you want to hear. And it's really, really unfair. Now, of course, we are not involved in this story. And so, of course, Matt James has said he made it clear that he just wanted to be friends. I don't know. That's not what I got. And at this point, this woman, Grace Amerling, who is a professional equestrian, says that Matt James texted her out of the blue days before he was photographed with Rachel in New York, asking her to come to Miami for the night. And she declined, and then she went public. And I think that it's just a really interesting thing, because we said the entire season there were so many signs that Matt was emotionally unavailable, not really interested in having a long-term relationship, and had no business or no intention really of ever probably settling down. And so this is what my message is about Matt James. Men say what they mean and mean what they say. And if you look at someone's behavior consistently over a period of time and they're showing you who they are, it doesn't matter what they're saying, I really wish women would really focus on behavior rather than possibility or what someone says.
And I remember our good friend Matt Boggs, he used to talk about, he had it was like a term when
the silent movie.
No, the one about going to Miami. He used to always talk about when you're in a relationship, are you going to Miami? And Miami was ooh la la. So ladies, I hate to blow the cover on all the guys, sorry. But whenever we're inviting you to meet us in Miami, we don't want to be friends with you. We don't want to split a double bed with you. No, we're getting one bed and smushing's happening. That's our whole goal. Don't believe us. We're full of shit on going to Miami. want to be friends.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm really proud of Rachel because apparently, again, Rachel is not speaking with him. They are, according to US Weekly, it's not, CNN or Fox, but it's whatever it is. Rachel and Matt are on non-speaking terms after she learned about him lying about being in communication with another girl. He was in Atlanta, which is nearby where Rachel lives, and he did not reach out to make amends or apologized. And she has put that motherfucker in the past. And then, of course, other rumors are that he's just speaking to other women anyway. And
he's just a dick. What a shitty thing to do. Just it was so cold how he, like you said, you know what, man? Just like to not forgive. We were just talking about a minute ago. Hey, a good quality guy is looking towards your future. He did the complete opposite, of course. He's obsessed, just looking for a reason to shame her for her past and not forgive it, and not a conversation. Didn't want it. It's like, nope, we're done. Just a crappy thing to do. And then on the whole, and it's talking out the other side of his mouth and just being still doing this thing and leading her on, trying to, keep her going, and then have this other Grace girl on the side. It's like, bro, if you're gonna like break someone's heart, don't like bring them back to life and then break it again and do it on public television and publicly. And so it's just such a selfish thing to do.
Yeah, I just really would say, like, the best thing about the season would be because we could have named every episode, like, what does it look like when he's emotionally unavailable? Literally go back and listen to some of those episodes, and freaking, you could make a list, right? And there he is doing that thing, and so I'm happy that it came out, and Grace said on that Reality Steve interview, which I thought she was really articulate. She was like, and this is my parting message. It doesn't matter that he does charity work. Nope. It doesn't matter that, he loves his mom. It doesn't matter that he has a nice job and probably makes a lot of money. None of that matters, because in the end, it's like, what are the values that you're looking for in a person that they are consistently demonstrating through their behavior over time? And so it doesn't matter what someone looks like on paper. Really look at how they're showing up, and that will tell you what you need to know.
I love you. That's so true.
Yeah. I didn't say it. Grace said it. She said, it doesn't matter that the boy does fucking charity work. I'm sure he's a good person, but he's a freaking player. And she also said on that interview, did you watch that interview?
No, I didn't watch it.
She threw me off. She was like, I am here. I really wanted to go public because there are men out there who do this to women consistently. Like, give them breadcrumbs, manipulate, say one thing and do another. And she was like, and I just think that they usually get away with it. And I'm here to like take a stand for that behavior being unacceptable. You don't talk to two women at one time and say different things to each of them. It's just not okay. And I was happy for her to come on freaking Instagram in her, horse riding outfit and, just make a statement. So woohoo, Grace. Thanks for being graceful in your dissing of Matt James. Any final comments as we sort of go, wow, Bachelor Nation is just having one a hell of a year.
It is. It sounds like a word to the wise. You don't date anybody on who would be on The Bachelor or Bachelor Nation. I don't know. We need more Graces of the world. We're really out there, and I'm sure there's going to be some scandal about Pilot Pete anytime soon. We're going to figure out soon. It's all just smoke and mirrors. The good people, they are there. Make sure your man's there for the right reason.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love, Grace also said this. She was like, let's just be honest. Like, most people don't find love on The Bachelor. She was like, I was asked to be on, I had no interest. Like, I don't need to be famous. I don't want to be famous. And I know I'm not going to find love there. So, obviously everyone who's there has an alternative motive. So we'll see what happens as this drama unfolds. But I giggle to myself because when Chris Harrison would always come out and say, this is the most dramatic season ever, I would say for Bachelor and Bachelor Nation, this really has been the most dramatic season ever. And I wish all of those people seriously, like, such love and such courage. And I appreciate that they put themselves out there so that we can learn from them. Yeah. And I have another reason to talk to you. So I hope there's some more drama next week so we can get back there. We do love all those dum-dums.
I'm grateful for all of them.
Ladies, whatever you do, put on an equestrian outfit and do it with some damn dignity. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.